Hey everybody, welcome in. It's time for an update on the exchange. So we've had some big changes with the gear economy, and that means big changes in our exchanges. So we're going to jump into this and start explaining. If anyone's new here, we go through, we'll let you know what is best from each exchange, what you should be focusing on. So let's jump into that. Now, starting with the premium exchange. Pretty much, you'll see here any of these character tokens with the premium exchange. It is majority of the time not worth your gems. The only time it's really worth your gems if you're spending a lot in game, you have excess gems. There are just other better ways to spend your gems in game if you are not spending or have a big income of gems regularly. That being said, there are a couple of exceptions. If there is an event on, and some of these characters, say the frozen characters, whatever else it might be, if you can pick up some of their tokens to unlock the next stage of an event, it can be worth it if you're going to get a whole lot more rewards from that stage of the event that you unlock. And that can be for whichever kind of characters there are out there. But in general, majority of these characters are all farmable. At the top here, these are the exclusives, and they've got the exclusive price per token. Now, Hades, Shan, and Mordu all used to be the tournament exclusives as well. They have since been added to the farmable list, but they are still as costly as exclusives. So, for the time being, I think in the future they'll end up changing, but for now, that is how this is. So pretty much don't touch any of these tokens unless you have more gems than you know what you're doing with. But in saying that, right down here, after all the tokens, there is also gear. Now, this is one of the new update changes, is that you can finally now purchase full cloths in here. And previously, people who spent a bit, them old chubby dolphins, as Cozy loves to say. And I'm loving saying it as well, actually. So, the cloths are so much more valuable for money rather than having to buy 50 rose thorns and then going down and having to buy 70 of a droplet and so on and so forth. If you can just straight go and buy a cloth, it is so much more worth your value. So by saying that, let's have a look here. By getting the rose thorns, that is already 1,200. By going down to get double up on those droplets, that's already another 1,400. So that's already 2,600 just for those pieces only, not including all the other pieces that you need. So value-wise, it is amazing that they are there like that. Now, going forward, that kind of gives you premise for the rest of these. You can farm all of these mats, and honestly, you probably really don't need to purchase these. The only time, yet again, kind of like the character tokens, is if you have an excess of gems and you're trying to rush ahead on some things. That is pretty much the only way you would be wanting to spend on these. So that's going to take us through to the next tab of the exchange. Pretty much only buy what you need when you need it if it's going to give you better rewards, or if you've got a lot more gems to spend, then get what you need to advance your main team first and then going down. Now, this gold exchange here, if you find yourself with some extra gold, don't go buying these brooms. Whatever you do, don't go buying the brooms. You need a wee bit of them in the beginning, but don't get them from this exchange. In the club exchange, they're far cheaper. We'll get to that in a second. But these ones down here, rather than spending your energy farming, and when you could be getting mats at super high levels, rather than going for the tier 1s and tier 2s, you can go and purchase them from here for fairly cheap, although they're a little bit costly on gold. But when you're comparing to the millions, they are fairly cheap. Especially the cost of energy that they take to farm these, you're far better off putting that energy into farming tokens that you need or gear that you need. So the high tier gear that you need. So in saying that, they are decent value for saving you on having to farm them and saving your energy for other things. So let's go into the club exchange. The gold exchange also used to be far bigger. Now it's only 2 rows. I expect at some stage in the future maybe that it can change. I'd like it to change. All right, now let's go into the club exchange here. So we have exclusives of Baloo and Jack Sparrow. Currently, Baloo needs a pretty decent buff to be relevant. Now, Jack Sparrow he was super relevant. Previously, he used to be a high part of the meta. His charm, if it can get 2 opponents, is massive. But he's kind of falling away with all the new characters coming out. So there are also new oceanic characters that you can get, say Moana and Gantu and Bubbles. They will probably serve you better than Jack Sparrow these days, especially since they are relative to their events. Although when a Pirates of the Caribbean event comes around, maybe people will change their tune on Jack Sparrow. But saying that, you can either go for Jack Sparrow because it's a fairly easy farm here, and then just enough so you can get through the oceanic towers and oceanic levels and the oceanic events. That will be the only reason to farm him here. Other than that, Kristoff. Farm Kristoff here. It's probably the cheapest way, the easiest way to farm him, the fastest way to farm him. Be ready for the Frozen event and get Elsa, one of the best characters in the game. Definitely. Other than that, you can farm Hook if you want another Oceanic. He did get a buff, and you can use him in the Oceanic teams if you need an Oceanic character and don't want to spend so much on Jack Sparrow. If all you need is an Oceanic character, that is. Now, as in terms of, some people like to go for Mickey here. Mickey is quite relevant. He is still good. He's part of the Kingdom crew, which is one of the dominating teams in this game at the moment. So I would say that's worth it. As far as the rest, don't even touch the rest. They're no good. Now, other than that, go for the gear. The gear here is amazing. So if we start from the bottom and then go up with the gear. So here are the brooms. You get 10 of them for 750 club coins. Now, compared to the gold exchange, look at this, 20,000 for 2. That means it's going to be 200,000 for 10. I know which one I'd rather want. We know how many club coins we get in each of our clubs, and if you're in a good club, you should be getting like 10, 11,000 per day. So, and if you're not, maybe look to get into a club that is getting that much per day. And then you'll have all this extra to spend on character tokens and gear. So get yourselves some brooms as much as you need. I like to try and keep myself around about 100 at least. And when I've got extra, I like to farm up extra, but priorities for me is my main teams and who I'm wanting to get up. And that should always be your gear priority. Don't go investing gear into all your characters, only do your main ones. And going forward, with the essences, they're only 2k for 10. Yet again, you need a lot of them. So buying them here rather than farming them is amazing. For 2,000 for 10 of them, like bargain, 100% bargain. Use your club coins for essences. Don't go farming essences, buy them here. And that's going to save you so much time. Now, when you move forward, Strange Fiber, also a very good price, 2,500 for 10. Decent price. You need a lot of them for leveling things up. And then when you start getting up to droplets, when you get to the droplets, this is where it starts becoming more, okay, maybe I'll farm for the droplets because it's going to take more of my club coins. Although previously, droplets used to be 4,000, whereas this was one of the ones that were reduced, and I'll take the reduction because it's going to give you more in the long run. But that's only 4 for 3,000, whereas the essences are 10 for 2,000. So target your energy farms on droplets, or first of all, all these ones up here, the thistles, the rose thorns, the needles, the corals, all of these ones here, the most expensive ones in this exchange, is what you should be farming with your energy. And then, if you have enough of those ones, then go down and get the droplets for whatever gear tier you need. And work your way down and farm the highest one possible with your energy and purchase the lower ones needed with your currencies, so that's going to get you savings in the long run. Alright, let's move forward into the tournament exchange. Now, the tournament exchange, as I mentioned in the premium exchange, is that Hades, Shan and Mordu all used to be exclusives here, and they still have the exclusive price. Now, probably Shan is probably the only one that's really top priority here, just because getting him can pull a whole team up to be one of the most relative competitive teams in the game. That being said, also Anna is in here, and she's going to be, Frozen is relevant, she is relevant, she's one of the best characters in the game, best supports in the game, behind Hero, but she is amazing. She can go into so many different teams and do well. Now, every other character in here is kind of like, Hades used to be a whole lot better than he is, Mordu used to be a whole lot better than he is, Merlin's cool, but he's just cool. So if you need mythical characters, go for one of them, but you don't only need to go for them. Oh, Merlin seems to have lost his exclusive tag in here. That's interesting. He always used to be exclusive. Now, other than that, maybe Dr. Facilia in here may be worth it. He is amazing in any kind of tower mode, event mode, things like that you need to keep things alive and have lots of health. He will do amazing for you, as well as be there for the downtown villain events. So I'd say those ones will be your priority, and prioritize Anna and Shan Yu. Whoever you want first, prioritize them. Shan Yu for boosting your whole team speed, and Anna for being ready for the Frozen event and helping your own teams, is what I would recommend. And then once you've done those, choose who you want, who you need for other types of events. Now let's move through to the Tower Exchange. In the Tower Exchange, majority of the spells are all very, very good now. Now, I'd say don't get any of the spell mats from here. Choosing certain spells that you want to unlock, I'd say maybe only just get them to unlock. Once you've unlocked them, then go for spell packs, because they're just so pricey. At $2,000 for two, or 2,000 coins for two, compared to in these spell packs you're going to get pull 5, and you're pretty much over doubling your value by going for these. Now, yes, there is a variety of different spells in here. I'd say 50% of them are good. Now, 50% of them are good, you're going to be getting half. Just go for these, load up, you'll get a good wide range spread rather than investing into one and then eventually having nerfs or buffs. Now, the ones that are worth getting would be Golden Hammer is good to unlock, Conjuring Cauldron is good to unlock, and Conjuring Cauldron is really good as high as it can go. Pan's Shadow is good to unlock, but you unlock that in Tower. Fairy Slumber is amazing to unlock. So, and Fairy Slumber is amazing at level 2 as well. So if you are going to focus farm, just focus farm them to there only, and everything else, just go for spell packs. You're going to get so much more value out of it, and you're going to end up unlocking things faster anyway. So let's move on to the Sorcerer's Exchange. Now, in here, go for the chipped topaz, the yellow speed stones. They are going to be the best in the game. You're going to need to spread them out. Make sure you got about 5 of them, and then at least you can make a team that is all speed if you need it. And then after you've got those 5, you can equip and unequip those as much as you want to whatever team you're running. Then for the rest of them, only pick up like a health stone or a defense stone if you need them for your tanks, and then get the other ones like rubies, chipped rubies, for if you maybe want to play around with them once you have the currency, or when you have enough of the upgrade currency to take them to the next stage of the stone, the level 2 stone, then go and get 3 of those ones to combine. But other than that, just sit on your currency. They're not going to go anywhere. Sit on it, get what you need only, and then move forward. Now, for the 7-star exchange, the token exchange, this is when you duplicate your tokens. When you end up getting a max character and you get more of their tokens, they get converted into a little question mark token, like just up there on the exchange tab. Then, exclusive is Steamboat Mickey. He is probably needing of a buff, just because as much as I'd say his reflect needs a big buff, and he just needs to survive that little bit more. He's got a really cool kit, but it's just cool. is just real cool and fun to use, and he can't stand up against the other defensive tanks. Now, the other characters in here, I mean, if you want to farm Scrooge, I know a lot of people like Scrooge, me included, and I've made a lot of people like Scrooge, but the rest of these characters kind of like, get them if you need them. I personally would prioritize Steamboat just because he's exclusive, just so you can get him up as much as you can, and then when he does get a buff, he's going to be a whole lot better. Or go for Scrooge because he is relevant. He is a relevant character, and he's going to do you amazing if you get him. Now, for the VIP exchange here, the things that are worth it in here, the ultimate packs, the 10 and the 5 times are worth it if you are buying them anyway. Now, I wouldn't personally recommend getting those packs, like purchasing those packs, but if you're going to be purchasing them anyway, you can get them here cheaper. Now, as far as the loyalty coins go, for the cost in gold, it's not really that worth it. And for all these other things, honestly, you can get them if you need it. If you got the gem, if you're getting VIP and you're getting all these things anyway, then get what you need. Get what you know you have a value for. Now, Jesse tokens are good value at 3 for 200k gold is amazing value. For Davy Jones, this is probably a very good purchase because he is locked behind Conquest. Unless you're winning Conquest every week, it's still going to take you a long time to unlock him. And likewise with Zurg. Zurg, for him being so limited, this may be a good place that you want to pick up his tokens if you have all of the extra gems only. That is the only way. And then down to here, the gold for beta runes, they're so limited, pick them up. And down into the spell tokens, pretty much only, yet again, only if you have wads and wads and wads of cash and gems that you are spending and needing these things. Other than that, you don't really need to get them. Now, heart cloths here are 22,800, whereas here in the premium, if we go and look down, they are the same as well. So it's just another way of getting them, but you can get them whenever you need. So there isn't too much rush around for these things, but they can be good and useful if you have the extra gems and you're looking to unlock things. Now, when Stitch Tower comes around, this is the only time this will show up, and there is likely to be other different variations of tower modes, event tower modes coming around. Now, this is going to depend on where you are in the game. If you are early stages and you haven't got very far in the tower, I would personally say go for Captain Gantu. Unlock him. Now, a lot of people say save the Stitch. The thing is, if you can't progress in there, you're not going to be getting much tokens. Then you're not going to be able to get much Stitch tokens anyway. Whereas if you then invest into Captain Gantu, because he's such a hard farm, you can farm bubbles. I'll farm bubbles with energy. For me, I went to farm Captain Gantu as energy, and I was still stuck below 3-star until I started spending my coins on him. So now I can spend my coins on him and progress my farm towards him, so I can then get further in the Stitch Tower, then get more currency to then get Stitch when I need it. And then once you've done with all of these characters, I'd say farm bubbles with Grand Campaign energy, unless you have other priorities, then sort yourself out. But Captain Gantu, you can get to the end of the Stitch Tower just with him, so he is worth taking to 5-star at least. So hopefully that helps. And then once you've finished off pretty much the event, they throw in a few other characters just so that you can get something else if you are finishing off the event and you're not stuck like, okay, now this event is pointless. You can actually then go and get other tokens and finish other characters. And then also there is gear, and this is amazing. I'm so happy that they added gear here. Now, for those, this is only going to be super late game characters that this is relevant to. I wouldn't recommend spending your Stitch Tower on gear until you finish off all the Gantu, Bubbles, and Stitch. Once those are all maxed, then go for the gear. And for the value here, go for the Thorns and the Thistles and all the top end tier 6. 5,000 for 5 is good compared to 4,000 for 5, just because of how expensive they are, say, back in the club exchange. If you're comparing the prices for what you're getting for the thistles and all these types of ones is going to be so much more value getting them from here, and then maybe picking up the droplets from the club exchange if you need them, or then going for the farms. And likewise, all going down further, 3,000 for essences, 10 essences, or you can pay 2,000 club currency for the 10 essences. I'd rather spend that on the essences and use your other coins here for getting things that are higher price elsewhere. So I kind of like that. I love that they're adding different bonuses into these games for when you finish things off. It gives people a reason to keep playing and keep progressing, and then they'll hope that I progress their other characters further. So that is quite exciting. So hopefully this has helped. Let me know in the comments below if this has helped you, what stages and what things you're up to on the Stitch Tower, because for me, I was gonna save for Stitch, but then when I couldn't progress anymore, like, you know what, I'm just gonna go all in and on Gantu, get him up to the stage where I can get more Stitch coins, and then I can save for Stitch at the end. So that is what I'm doing, and I'm sure there are gonna be more game modes coming which I'm not gonna be wanting to farm Gantu all my life, with all my energy and all my focus. So I'm just gonna go for him all in here, then go finish off both Gantu and Bubbles, and then go all in on Stitch, and hopefully then move down to the game. So that's all. This was being quite long with a whole lot of different updates and changes, but hopefully this has helped you guys, and we'll see you guys soon.